What's happening is a disgrace. This is a corrupt situation. We caught them spying on my campaign. They were spying. I said that a long time ago, remember? But I said it without great knowledge. It turned out to be correct. They were spying on my campaign. And if that were the other way around, if it was switched with Democrat and Republican, the opposite way, you'd have people in jail for 50 years for what they did, because that's treason.
President Trump blasting corruption against his campaign as the case against his former national security advisor Michael Flynn is ordered to be dismissed by a federal appeals court this week.
Here to discuss this, somebody who knows this case as well as anyone. He's Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman. He's the South Carolina Senator, Lindsey Graham. Senator, when you looked at this and saw the Strzok memo, what's, pun intended, what struck you? What changed?
Well, it's just a continuation of an old theme. Enough is enough. Judge Sullivan's gone rogue. I've been a lawyer most of my adult life before I got in politics, a military judge, prosecutor, and defense attorney. I've never known in my entire life a case where the government comes forward and asks the court to withdraw charges because they find exculpatory evidence not revealed to the court or the defendant, and the judge refuses to grant the motion by the government. So the appeals court has ruled 2-1 for a writ of mandamus, ordering Sullivan to drop the charges. He is staying the hearing. So this has become a complete joke, and it's very unfair to General Flynn. And eventually General Flynn will receive justice, but it's going to take a while, apparently.
Senator, one of the things we've discovered, as this has been announced in the last, 72 hours or so, is the fact that we've now seen some of these handwritten notes, thanks to Mr. Flynn's attorneys. And one of them could be just a smoking gun, because it looks like the Vice President of the United States, while in the Oval Office with Susan Rice, Sally Yates, the President, everybody there. It sounds like Vice President Biden was talking about the Logan Act when it came to him. And suddenly, fast forward to today, it's like, well, maybe that's where that all got started.
Well, that's a really good question. Number one, why are we getting these notes now?
Right.
Where have these notes been? Where were the notes we got about a month or so ago from the Department of Justice? Bill Barr is doing a good job of cleaning up the sewer that was the Obama Justice Department. On January the 4th, the FBI agent in charge of the Flynn investigation wrote a memo recommending that Flynn be dropped from Crossfire Hurricane because there was no there. I'm trying to interview that agent, but I've been unsuccessful so far. I will keep trying. On January the 5th, you have a meeting in the Oval Office with the Vice President and the President, and the Logan Act is mentioned. The one thing I can tell your viewers, no one's ever been prosecuted under the Logan Act in the history of the country, and there's no way it's a violation of the Logan Act for the incoming National Security Advisor to be talking to the Russian ambassador about changing policy. That could never be a violation of the Logan Act, so there's something really fishy here.
So Senator Tim Scott's bill didn't pass. Democrats didn't vote for it, as you know. And then the House, Nancy Pelosi's bill did pass in the House, obviously. But the president says he's going to veto it. You know, all this kind of reminds me, when we're talking about the statues, it reminds me of what happened in South Carolina back in, it was 2000, when, remember, the Confederate flag was on top of our State House dome, and then it was moved down. The compromise was to move it right in front of the State House on the ground. So when you drove down Main Street, as you and I have done a million times, you see it. Well, then Nikki Haley came in 15 years later and said, we're doing away with that. And she had grand support from our state, from South Carolinians. They supported it. Do you think that's what's happening with these statues? That now, you know, there's all this confrontation, and it's very controversial. But in 15 years, we're all going to be in the same place?
Well, here's what happened in South Carolina. We chose the rule of law to deal with the problem, and we didn't let the mob deal with the problem. The flag came off the dome of the Capitol because the legislature voted it down through the democratic process. It wasn't taken down. The Confederate flag was moved from in front of the Capitol because Governor Haley and the State House again voted to move it. What these people are doing are taking the law in their own hands. This is rule of the mob, not rule of law. And what you got to realize, why would you take an abolitionist statute down? Why would you be going after Abraham Lincoln? The people doing this hate our country. They hate the way we were founded. They hate capitalism. They have no respect for religion. They have no respect for diversity of thought. These people are the most radical people known to America. We're at war with them politically. They want to destroy America as we know it. They hate America. And every symbol of our country,
Right.
from the flag to a statue, they hate. They want to turn us into a socialist nation. They want to destroy the family unit as we know it. And I tell you what, to the listeners out there, you may not believe you're in a war, but you are politically, and you need to take sides, and you need to help this president.
If you want to know how Senator Lindsey Graham thinks, we did a feature at Fort Sumter, and me and you did a stand-up together, and we
Yeah.
looked down. There was a plaque for the 54th Infantry, all black
Yeah.
infantry in fighting the Civil War, and there was a Confederate statue to the right. And you look down and it says, these people were right, those people were wrong, but it doesn't mean they were terrible people. They were people of their times, and that's in that feature there. And now we're talking about the Civil War as if it ended yesterday. Senator Graham, thanks so much.
Thank you, Senator.
Thank you.
Senator, I think somebody's at your
Civil
front
war
door.
going on. Thank you.
I think somebody's at your front door. I've heard a knocking for
Yeah.
about the last 5 minutes.
Right.
Y'all got to tell Rupert to get a new room. Rupert's got to
Right.
spend more money.
You know why? We're just improving the place all the way, all the time.
Okay, all right.
Washington.
Thanks, Senator.